So Biodun, tell us about how art came into your life to where it has brought you today.
Thank you, Flora. I discovered that when I was in primary school. I love drawing. All the time I would like to pick my pencil or Crayola in those days and draw anywhere on anything, any surface at all. I remember a particular incident that happened that I said I love drawing.
Yeah.
And I love to do caricature, draw everybody and make jest of some people. So there was a particular day I was drawing the principal of the school. The guy had a very big pot belly and everything. So I was actually drawing him on the board using the chalk to draw him on the blackboard. And then all the students were happy, clapping, shouting, wow. I was asking them who knew this person. And then unfortunately for me, when I faced the blackboard, that was when the principal came to that. I was by the window. I don't notice that everybody was quiet. I noticed that the whole place was silent. I didn't know what was that. By the time I turned, I saw the principal there. The guy just beckoned to me and said I should come. By the time I got to him, the guy flogged the hell out of me. And then the next thing, he sent me out of the school. He said I should go and meet my dad. And what was put in the letter was the fact that I was wasting the school chalk. Not that I was drawing him or whatever.
Yeah.
So my father said, okay, was he going to sponsor free education for him to be buying a packet of chalk for everybody? So that was one experience, one incident there. Then later, I left my secondary school and my primary school, I got admission to Imade College, one of the best secondary school then in Ondo State. And I met my art teacher of blessed memory now. His name is Wayola Ogidon. The guy actually helped me, encouraged me, and then was more of a mentor than a teacher to me. Because the guy was always with me, encouraging me and telling me that I know you are very good in the art, but you should not focus just on the art. Mathematics, you have to be good. Other subjects, you must be very good. But I'm the art teacher, but I will encourage you to be good in other subjects as well. And then that was what I got. I was the best student in the whole school. And I even got an award of 200 naira when we were graduating. Big money by Akinolala Shekon. The guy, one of the renowned artists in Nigeria, then of blessed memory too. Yeah. So when the money was given to my art teacher for the best graduating students in Form 5, my principal thought that that money was too much for just one student. And he said they need to share the money between all the arms of Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 5. But my art teacher insisted that this money was meant for the best graduating students, not students. I didn't know what was happening. I got to the assembly hall that morning, and then the art teacher called me and presented the money and the letter to me. I didn't know that I was even going against the instruction of the principal. It was later I learned about that. So that was right, and then from there, I knew that I was going to study visual art.
Yeah. Let's just go back a little bit, because there was an article, or I think you had an article in one of the newspapers. I think it was a Punch, I'm not really sure.
Yes.
And the title was, parents, don't tell your children that they're drawing jaga jaga, which basically means rubbish, right?
Yes.
And I thought that was really funny. I mean, just taking a step back in terms of your experience as a child, and you gave a really interesting story there about drawing the picture, the caricature of your head teacher on the blackboard.
Yep.
So what was the orientation, what was the thinking, the mindset of people then around you, in your environment, in response to your ability to draw? How did they look at that? Not just in school, not just in that school experience, but at home as well. How was that for you? Because we are in the Nigerian environment, certainly is one where, but I think it's a lot better now. The way there was a way that parents would look at their children who would be or show an interest in things like the arts, and you know, we were expected to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be accountants.
Very correct.
So I just wonder, what was it like for you then? Clearly having this ability, and thankfully you had somebody later on, your art teacher, who could really align himself with you. But before then, how was that for you at home and at school, and people appreciating the fact that you had this talent?
I can tell you for real that the appreciation wasn't there, especially at home and even at the elementary school. One, my dad never supported the idea of me, because my dad was educated, but he never supported this idea of me going to the art. He felt that the best thing for me to be, and dad was thinking of being a lawyer.
Yeah.
He was a diehard supporter of Awolowo, Bafin Awolowo then, and everybody wants to read law. That is, I want my son to be like this man, so go and study law. If you're not doing law, go for medicine. If you're not doing medicine, you can go for accounting or banking, because my dad was a businessman. He had a transaction with the bank in those days, cooperative bank in my hometown. And then they held the bank manager in high esteem. Everybody believed that this guy, so my father felt, you should go for banking, something like that. And I remember one of my uncle told me, when I was having my 40th birthday in 2004, my uncle was there. His name is Engineer Charles Aladiwolu. He said he was talking to my dad then, because he knew the way, he saw the way I was drawing, and told my dad that this guy was going to be an artist. My dad said over his dead body that I would prefer him to be a banker. Yeah. Why not a banker? Why artist? So my uncle now said...
that would have been a typical response of most
parents, exactly.
Whose children wanted to pursue...
Yes, exactly, yes.
Art, become a comedian,
they will
become an actor. That is what they would have said.
It was a no-go area then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my uncle now said, okay, fine. But my uncle jokingly said it that when I was having my first exhibition on my 40th birthday, my dad had passed on. And my uncle said, because he said, you only become an artist over his dead body. And then, don't forget, I used to be in banking when my father was alive. So he only knew me as a banker. To the end. To the end, until he died. Yeah. So when I went, the support was not there then. Yeah. My mom was neither here nor there. Her own was that she was into, my mom was running a canteen. And then her own was that, just do something that will bring in money. That was her own. Provided you can make money, do business and make money. My mom was very hardworking. Yeah. It will support you. She will support you in anything that you do, this business that will make money. So it was neither here nor there about whether I want to go and study. Yeah. But most people will not support it. Yeah. Except that my uncle that I mentioned, he was one that bought me my first art material. Wow. Was very close to my dad. He used to travel abroad regularly then. Then he bought me my first acrylic and even watercolor material. He always supported me, even up till now. He was the only person. Wow. So nobody ever supported this. A lot of people will say, okay, why don't you go and read and stop all this rubbish that you are doing, drawing all over the place? Where would this one take you? Go and pick your mathematics, go and pick this and that. That has always been the case. And until then, when I wanted to go into the university, I was advised to go for economics, accounting, or whatever. And I told, because I did economics my A-level, and I was qualified to go and study economics. And they thought I was going into the university to study economics. But when I filled the form, I filled fine art, choice number 1, number 2, and number 3. We were supposed to be...
Was your father still around at this time?
He was alive. Right. But I didn't know what I filled in that form.
Wow.
I filled fine art, first choice, second choice, third choice. Okay. And then we were supposed to be the first set in University of Ilorin then. Yeah. There was a department in University, it's still there now, but they've changed it. The department in University of Ilorin, there was Department of Performing and Fine Art. Right. We were supposed to be the first set of Fine Art department. But when we got into University of Ilorin, that was when I met Professor Zulu Shofola of blessed memory for the first time. And when I was given admission, I was told that, oh, it's for performing art. And I said, no. I came in for visual art. And they said, okay, for now, visual art is not taking off for now. So either you settle for performing art or we give you a letter to go to other university. And I said, I prefer to be given a letter to go to another university. I was given a letter with a couple of other guys. We went to Benin, we went to Ife, but Ife never gave us admission. And Benin didn't give us admission because we never even chose any of those universities then. So I reluctantly went back to University of Ilorin and settled for performing art. But I learned something. I learned a lesson in that department. One, the professor told me then that, look, you love the art so much, the visual art. But let me tell you that there's a thin line of demarcation between the visual art and the performing art when you get to a particular level. But I will tell you, if you would like to specialize in technical theater or scenographic designs, costumes and whatever, you have opportunity to draw as well. And that was all coming down. I said, okay, let me settle for that, reluctantly.
So how did you get into banking then?
Beautiful. When it was time for me to be posted for service, I was sent to...
So you completed the course?
I completed the course. Yeah, I graduated.
Fine.
And then I was posted to Old Oyo State then, which was Oyo and Osun now. Who then was Old Oyo, now is Oyo and Osun. Yeah. I was posted to Oyo State, and then I found myself in Ibadan. Okay. And when we were at the orientation camp, I noticed that most of the youth corpers were always going out. And when I asked a few of them, they said the camp was very boring. So they could not be staying there. But each time they came back, they were always punished by the military guys. So I called one of them on, why would you allow this guy to be punishing you like this? If you were supposed to stay, why don't you just stay? Then it occurred to me that they said the place was boring. And I started performing art. Why can't I create something there to make the place lively? And I came up with this idea that, okay, let me try, because my project was on Wole Soyinka's Lion and the Jewel. Right. That was what I did my project on. It was a comedy. And I said, okay, I think I will reproduce this again on camp there, and then make sure that people come, and the coppers will come and watch, at least to entertain them. I put a poster out and asked those who are interested in acting, whether you study medicine, doesn't matter. Do you have good voice? Do you have the stage presence? Would you want to be part of it? A lot of people responded, and then they were part of it. That was how we started the NYC theater troupe on camp there. And then the first night, it was free. We made it free. Everybody came. They were very happy. Then the second night, it occurred to me that, look, these people are interested in this, that we need to charge money. So we started to charge 5 kobo. Okay. 5 kobo then. You know, our allowance was 200 naira those days per month. We charged 5 kobo. And then another member of that troupe asked that, where are we going to get tickets to give to this? I said, don't worry. That on that day is what is going to happen. On that day, what I did was I got a permanent marker. So once you pay, I'll sign on your palm, then you can go in and it'll be there. So that's what we use as ticket. We finished that one. Then the third night, it was a beautiful performance. We increased our ticket again from 5 kobo to 15 kobo. Wow. And they still paid. Yeah. Then when we were having more of the final performance, we didn't know that the director of NYC was part of the audience that night. But when we were done, everybody was happy. The lights came on, and then I saw this gentleman addressing everybody and said, look, who put this thing together? I was scared. Because, you know, I didn't take permission. I didn't take permission from even the authority before. I said, maybe I'm in trouble again. Everybody was pointing to me. Then the director of NYC called me and said, wow, this is a beautiful... then I was very happy. Yes, this is very beautiful. Then you are going to take this one as your primary assignment. Then with all your members, all of you will have to be at the secretariat and take this one as your primary assignment. And that was how I was posted to the secretariat with the other core members. But at that point, a lot of other core members wanted to join, but I said no. You are not good since we are not part of this thing from the beginning, because they wanted to benefit from even the posting to the secretariat. And I insisted that no, we are not going to take them, and we didn't take them. So again, another thing happened. Coincidentally that year, the literature text that we were using in the secondary school was Wole Soyinka's Lion and the Jewel as well. Wow. So it made it very easy for us. So we're touring the whole of Old Oyo State then, acting that thing on stage for the students. Right. We are going to all the schools all over Oyo State.
So how did that take you into banking though?
Yes, that's what I want to tell you now. But after the program, the NYC, the Conference of Principals, they wrote a letter to NYC that we deserve to be given an award. So we're all given an award with automatic employment. Oh. Yes. So NYC gave me a job as an information officer with them. And then part of my schedule was to check the newspapers every day. Anything that concerned the NYC, I'll do press cutting and I'll give it to my boss. So one day I was just going through the papers and I saw an advert that, fresh graduates in any discipline, provided you have your degree, your result is not less than 2-1, they want to even employ in the banking industry. So I applied. And
that's how you got it?
That was how I applied. But very interesting too, when I went for the interview, the written interview I did very well, I think. And then the oral interview, that was when I had my first contact with the MD of the bank, then FSB then, and then we're talking. And then they asked me a question that, young man, you study performing art. And now you are here. What are you doing in this place? This is a bank. And I told them that, sir, the advert says fresh graduate from any discipline. And that's why I'm here. So, okay, what do you think you'll be doing? I said, okay, where do you think you can function? I said, I can function anywhere. I was very confident and bold. Okay, another question came, so, do you think this place is a stage? You read performing art? And I told them, I said, everywhere is a stage. You play your part and you exit. So, I had a job already with NYC. Yeah. So it wasn't a do or die kind of a thing. Yeah. And I was telling them that, look, even the suit you are wearing towards like a costume, the costume. So if I'm given a part to play, I need to learn the language of that particular character, this and that, and then I'll act it out. That was it. So they were just looking at me, oh, Mr. Performer, well done. I thought they wouldn't give me the job anyway. But by the time I finished the interview, I think on Awolowo Road then, that was in 1987. Yeah. By the time I finished the interview, that night the result came out. And then I was given a letter and I was employed as a banking officer.
Fantastic.
That was how
So I mean, it's a really interesting story. So you got into banking.
Yes.
How many years did you work within the bank?
I did about 10 years. Okay. In different banks. Okay. So because I went for studies again.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Banking related studies.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
I did I went to there's this PI then in Jibowu.
Yeah. For
professional exams. I went there, did all the training. Yeah. I went for Institute of Bankers exam. Yeah. And then there are a lot of training. Then we were trained seriously then. Okay. We were taken to CBN. And we even come for about 6 months before they allowed us to work at all. Okay. We're being trained then.
So what happened in all the time that you were in the banking profession?
Yes.
What role was your arts play? Because this is really about your journey as an artist and how you've gotten to where you are today.
Yes.
So how did you then, or when did you then decide that you needed to, focus primarily on your arts and bring it to where you are now?
Okay, let me tell you this. When I got into banking, few years, been in the banking was about 4 years or thereabout. I was one of the youngest managers then. I was made a manager. Yeah. And I think two things happened. One, I studied performing arts. And when we're in Department of Performing Arts, Professor Yusuf then, if anybody who's studying the theater or whatever, you know that it's a group work all the time. Even your project you have to do with others. Either you are directing, you have those who are acting, and they're going to mark it together. So that teamwork is always there. I brought that culture of teamwork to the banking industry as well. So my branch where I was working, they didn't know. I was always carrying everybody along. I was ready. If the last person will not finish, I will wait. And I will encourage others, please, we need to encourage this guy and wait and be there. And I think my manager then saw that this guy is very good. That's number one. Then number two, as the fact that I worked with a particular manager who forgot the key to the vault one day. He used to get drunk at times and he forgot the key.
That's not good.
Yes. I think the guy something happened to him. I won't mention his name now. Yeah, no, something happened to him that he got frustrated. I think the system, they moved him from being a general manager to a branch. As a branch manager, a kind of demotion. So when the guy was there, the guy never liked the whole thing. We just leave the place. And that particular day, I think he went out and forgot his key, his own key to the vault. 3 of us were custodian of the bank vault. I had the combination. Another guy had a combination. He had the key. He forgot his own key, and I was the one that found the key. And then we waited for him to come so that we can take our money back into the vault. The guy never showed up for that day. And then I called my colleague. I had the manager's key. The guy was asking, I said he forgot it. So, but let's just count the money, check our cash book and everything, and move the money to the vault. And then the following day when he came, he didn't tell us what he was looking for. I'm sure he must have searched his house and everything, didn't find it. Now came, and people were waiting after 8. So I went to him and said, sir, you forgot your key yesterday, and I picked it up. He was shocked. So what was and I said, sir, everything was okay. We've counted the money. We took it. So when we went to the vault, the guy called me. I said, Biodun, thank you very much. He said, but you know what I want to do? I'm tired of this work. I want to give you the key, but don't tell anybody. If the auditors come around, don't tell them, but keep this key. I trust you. And that same year, that was when they had another MD in the bank. I think they reviewed his case. And then they moved him back to the head office as a GM. So at that point, they needed a manager in the branch. So the guy now recommended me without my knowledge, that I believed that this guy could manage the branch. And then the argument was that when did he join the banking industry? Not even up to 5 years, this and that. The guy said, I trust this guy. He will do. That was what I was told later. He only called me later that night and said, Biodun, you are going to be the acting branch manager, but later you see me. And thereafter, the guy will take me to his house in a Butemeta and start training me. He went to London School of Economics. Well read. He would train me he would give me tapes and everything. Started training me on how to handle the branch and everything. The target I was given in my branch, this guy was practically handling everything for me at the head office. We would move customers to my branch. People were thinking I was one performing. And then he told me not to tell anybody. He would move customers to my branch. And people were wondering, oh, this guy is performing very well. So they now confirmed me as a branch manager and later moved me out of Lagos. I went to Abeokuta. From Abeokuta, I joined another bank. I worked in about 3 banks before I now met my secondary school art teacher again.
Okay.
That was how I came back to the art.
Right.
The guy came to my office one day on Victoria Island. And then when he saw me in the bank, he said he's been searching for me all over the place. I never knew I was not in the art industry. I said, sir, I'm enjoying what I say. I know, but this is not your place. The guy told me straight to my friend, this is not your place. And I said, what do you... He said, no, I want you to think about it. You need to get out of this place and go back to the art.
But were you feeling that yearning by that time?
I've always been... I never stopped drawing even while in the banking industry. I was even selling painting while in the banking industry. I never... On Saturdays,
so
whatever.
Like a side hustle.
Yes, I was doing that. I told you I love drawing, even not even for the money.
Yeah.
I was painting and drawing and everything.
Yeah.
My weekend was for drawing and painting, even while in the banking industry. When the guy told me, wow. In fact, when he was leaving, I put 5,000 in an envelope. That was 1992. I put 5,000 in an envelope and gave to him. The guy said no. He didn't come so that I could give him money. He only came to tell me that that was not where I belonged. And then his voice kept ringing. Each time I would be doing some other thing, his voice would come again. Until then, I gave me the thought that, okay, I think I need to resign. But each person I spoke with would tell me, you must be very crazy. You're a manager already, you want to resign for where? To go into the art. How much of it do you even know? You didn't even study this thing. Nobody supported the idea, except that my uncle again. When I went to him and I spoke to him, I said, sir, he said, Biodun, if you want to leave the banking industry, it might be a little bit tough. But I think I know you from when you were born. And you've always loved this thing. But let me tell you this, if you want to go, there's no looking back. I'll give you all the necessary support you need. And I said, thank you. And that encouraged me. So I wrote my letter of resignation, but I could not drop it. I wrote that letter of resignation up to about 10 times.
Wow.
I will have the confidence at home. By the time I go to the office, the letter will remain inside my bag.
What was going on? Why?
Because, my mind now, I made up my mind I want to go back into the art.
Yeah.
So an idea now came to me, okay, do something first. You didn't study visual art.
Right.
Why don't you go back to school?
Yeah. Was that the showstopper for you? That you didn't feel equipped enough?
Exactly. I felt I wasn't equipped enough to drop the thing and then go into the art. Then the next thing was for me to go back to school again.
Yeah.
That was when I went to Yaba College of Technology.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yes, and I obtained the form there.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when one of my seniors in secondary saw me and he knew that I was in the banking industry. Said, okay, what are you doing here? Are you bringing your son? I said, no. I was one coming to class. And I obtained the form. I did the exam and I passed. And they told me that I needed to start from ND1. And I said I was ready. But it was going to be a part-time program because I was still in the banking industry then. Then I got the admission. Class was 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day, Monday to even Sunday. So I said I was ready. So each time I closed from my office on Victoria Island, I would drive straight to Yaba Tech. I would resume class. But most of the time I would get to class very late. Imagine leaving the office around 6 and then driving now to get to Yaba Tech. And class started at 6 then. I would be very late. Some of the lecturers would be mad at me, and I told them that, look, sir, I have other things. I'm sorry. I will explain myself. Okay, if you want to do this, why don't you just concentrate this and that? But at a point, I realized I could not combine the two.
Right.
And that was when I made up my mind to now resign from the bank. Yet the confidence was not there. So, but one day I saw a particular book I think I still have the book in my library. I bought that book, small book on entrepreneurship. And the book was discussing issue about how you can find your own area and everything. And the book was saying that if you are employed in any organization and you are being paid, I think it's an American author, that you are being paid $1 million per week, that is not your real worth. That no employer will pay you your real worth. The difference between your real worth and what you are being paid is the gain for your employer. And that if you want to find your real worth, you need to go and start your own business. But before you start that business, your first business must be around your passion. That is when you can sustain it. Whether you are being paid for it or not, you still remain there. So the guy encouraged that you should find your passion first and then create your business around your passion. I said, yes, my passion is art. So if I want to do business around this thing, and this is what I will go for. And again, in that book again, the guy put it there, you need training. That talent or that passion is not enough. You need to be trained in that area. Oh, I said, wow.
It needs to be structured.
Everything. And that was why I decided to go to Yaba Tech. Yeah. And then at that point, I knew I was ready to leave. Yeah. The day I wanted to tender that letter, that was the day I was given a letter of promotion again.
Another temptation.
And yes, I wasn't happy. Everybody didn't know what was happening. They greeting me, congratulations and this and that. But I wasn't really happy. There was this struggle going on in my mind. Of course. Then the following week, I went straight to my MD's office and I said, sir, I was leaving. And the guy said, for where? Are you going to another? I said, no, sir. I'm going to the art. The guy had to practically close the door and say, sit down. What do you know about the art? They didn't know my background and everything. Yeah. Said, what do you know about the art? And I started telling him that, sir, I love drawing, I love this and that. And I knew that my bank was even collecting artwork then. Yeah. I knew. So the guy told me that, you know that we love artwork. I said, sir, I noticed that. He said, okay, have you ever drawn or painted anything? And I said, yes. He said, can I see it? At that time, I sent my driver to go to my house in Surrey to go and get some of my small paintings. And then they brought it free. And the guy said, you did it? I said, yes, sir, that's my signature on it. He said, wow, this is beautiful. How much would you sell? He said, sir, I would allow you to make an offer if you are interested. And you know that the guy paid me what was more than my salary for 2 months for the 3 paintings. Wow. He gave me a GTB check then, wow. And I went, I cashed that money, and I said, yes, I was ready to go. The guy now told me that, Biodun, if you want to come back, please, you are free to come. I said, sir, I won't come back. To God be the glory, up to now, I've not gone back. Yeah. So I resigned in 1993, and I focused on Yaba Tech. I spent practically 7 years in Yaba Tech doing art there. Yeah. When I finished my OND, another year for industrial attachment. Yeah. That 1 year, I already opened an office in Ikeja. Yeah. So I did my industrial attachment in my own company. And then later I went back for the HND program.
So, I mean, just a fascinating story. So the bit that I'm curious about, and people would be curious about as well, tell us about that transition period. Leaving a job that you're fairly well paid, you already got another promotion, to a certain kind of uncertainty, really.
Yeah.
How was that transition period? Because that is the period that people are most afraid of.
Yes.
That where they know things are financially not going to be the same for a while.
Of course, yes.
While they are finding their way. What was that period like for you?